Charles Adler's courses were great in a way because it made people exercise. But the advertising campaign did a lot of harm to bodybuilding. It made people believe that men train with weights for the simple reason of impressing girls. It had pictures in there of the guy looking in the mirror and posing, which again gave it the narcissistic image, the image of bodybuilders being narcissistic. It also gave the image of bodybuilders train with weights only because they want to punch out people. And because guys who train with weights have an inferiority complex with their body, and therefore they pick up weights.
Well, is none of that true? I mean, didn't you, when you were 15 years old, say to yourself, I can be the most perfect man in the world, and I can be strong, I can defend myself?
Every kid has this thing that you go through. Although I was like a top soccer player, but I also went through this trip of that you wanted to be strong, you know, like you see those Hercules movies and you see all that and you get impressed by that. You can't wait for the time to be a man. So you think physically you have to, you know, be a man. You know, you can't wait for that. And then, you know, kids grow out of that and go on. I never grew out of it. You know, I wanted to be, you know, a strong man all the time.
Are bodybuilders always looking in mirrors?
By looking in a mirror, you can find out what is missing in your body. If you should improve one area, or if you should work harder in one area, or if you do an exercise the right way. The specific exercise was for the outside biceps, which is this area right here. Then we do exercises for the inside and exercises for the back arm and hundreds of exercises.
It's for a specific muscle, and
right,
you know
exactly.
that. Are you thinking about that muscle?
Oh, yeah. The mind is right in the muscle. That's the only way to do it, you know.
What are you thinking?
Well, you think about making the muscle grow or making it stronger. You meditate in, you think about mountains and all kinds of things, you know, just to make the muscle grow. It's a kind of a feeling which is hard to explain because, you know, you got to go through it to experience it. And all I can say is that, you know, you get addicted to it because it feels so good. And it feels good being in shape. It feels good that your whole body is connected and the mind and body works perfect together.
Is it the kind of thing that I could do?
Oh, yeah, sure. Any person can do it of any age. If it is a woman or a man, it makes no difference. A woman does not get muscles like a man because they have not the male hormones. And therefore, the body will get firm, but will not get muscular the same as a man's body does.
Weight training, contrary to popular myth, doesn't make a body muscle-bound. It increases flexibility and it makes you strong. If you want to compete, it isn't just a matter of lifting a weight. It is reaching toward a physical state called the pump. Pumping up fills the muscle with oxygenated blood. It is concentration, timing, and exertion in a precise workout. It hurts getting there, but they say once you're there, the sensation is almost incomparable.
It sounds and has been described as something almost sexual.
Yeah, you can, some people describe it as sexual, some people, whatever is the best way of describing it. I described it many times as that because that's what most people can relate to, you know, is something sexual, you know, so that's why I sometimes say it, you know, for me, you know, pumping up in a gym and having a good workout is maybe the same thing as, you know, having sex with a woman or something like that, because, you know, then people say, wow, they must be really feeling good.
When you are working out, are you turning fat into muscle?
No. There's no such thing. Fat doesn't turn into muscles and muscle doesn't turn into fat because these are two different cells in the body. One cell doesn't turn to the other one. That's why it's also wrong when a lot of people say that when you stop working out and you get 40 or 50 years old, your muscles will turn to fat. It can't happen. What can happen is your muscle cells can decrease and maybe fat cells can increase, but one cannot turn to the other.
Can you really change the shape of your body with bodybuilding at any age?
Yeah, at any age, definitely.
Dear me, all that anxiety we've all felt because we didn't look like the Playboy centerfold girl. Could I look like the Playboy centerfold girl?
To me, you look it already.
Thank you, Arnold, but please tell me the truth. Is this possible?
everybody can live, everybody can reach 100% of their potential. There are certain women, for instance, who do not have naturally the potential of getting big busts. So obviously, you know, they maybe will increase 2 or 3 inches on their bust from weight training, but they will not increase 10 inches. So that's what I'm saying, you know, you can improve, but you cannot, you know, just change it that much.
How did you decide on that form that we now know as Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Way back when I started training, I visualized what my body should look like to be the best in the world. And then when I had this vision in front of me all the time, I then could go after that. I mean, you have to have the kind of a mind as a sculptor has, because a sculptor has to do the same thing. He has to look at his art and say, well, it's still not in proportion. I have to take a little bit away here, or I have to put more on here to make it get into proportion. And the same a bodybuilder has to do with his body.
When in training for competition, Schwarzenegger used to lift between 50 to 60 tons each day, building his body to suit a list of 20 contest criteria. Judges are looking for such things as proportion, symmetry, definition, and separation of muscles.
In order to make it, you said, in bodybuilding, you try to keep your emotions as low as you can. You want to protect yourself so nothing can get to you. When you want to be a champion, you have to be very cold. I'm quoting you, very cold.
Well, okay, I have to explain to you that this means that especially the 2 or 3 months before a competition, you should keep your emotional level to a low. When you get involved, for instance, 2 months before a competition with a woman, and you fall in love, and that energy, falling in love, takes away from your energy in the gymnasium, then obviously that's going to hurt your progress. So therefore you have to again find out, or ask yourself, what do you want in your life? Do you want to fall in love? Do you want to be married? Do you want to have children and go on with the everyday life like all the other millions of people do? Or do you want to be the one person who is the best? So therefore you have to cut this off and go your road, and don't go sidetracked. Stay cold.
I don't want to get too personal, but do you mean to say that when you go cold 2 months before a competition, does that mean no sex either?
No. I never cut out my sex life. I mean, that never, that was one very important thing always for me.
Do you find that that the women that you're attracted to have perfect bodies too?
No, not at all. I get turned on over all kinds of different women, you know.
Very beautiful women sometimes feel that they're admired for the wrong reason. Does that happen to you?
If they just want me for my body, it's great, you know. I get the same satisfaction out of it, you know. I mean, there's no sexual relationship that I have with a woman that she gets everything out of it and I nothing. So I'm perfectly satisfied if she just wants me for my body, you know.
You don't mind being a sex object?
No, not at all. I don't feel like that at all.
Has anybody ever asked you to do a porno film?
Yeah, man. If I would get $1 for each time I was asked to do one, I would be multi-millionaire already by now.
But you wouldn't do it?
No, that's not the kind of films I want to get into now.
Now you want to be the best actor too?
Yeah, I would like to be, you know, a good actor.
Aren't homosexuals attracted to bodybuilders? I'm sure that many times homosexuals do approach you indirectly or directly. How do you feel about that?
I don't feel negative about it. I don't feel anything about it really, because it's understandable. You know, if somebody is a homosexual, that he will be attracted to that kind of a body. But you see, a lot of people think that bodybuilders are homosexuals. You know, just a male dealing with his body. A lot of people think that means that you're a homosexual, at least a latent homosexual.
Generally, we don't look at the male body and say, that's perfection. Mm-hmm. I mean, the male body has never been in vogue. Should it be?
Yeah, I think it should do the same thing with the male body as with the female body, of course. But like I said, you know, the male body was not something that attractive to look at. I mean, people always looked at the male body and said, well, it should not be exposed. You know, it should be hidden away. It is always, people are always kind of male is always kind of scared of exposing the body or dealing with the body, because just it was always a female's job to, to deal with the beauty and to deal with the body. And the male was always just, hiding away. And I think it will change slowly here.